Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
Colombia agrees to take steps against Hamas sympathizing protestors. Trump abolishes the Department of Education. America's infrastructure in danger, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Israel's military is expanding its ground operations across the Gaza Strip as talks to stop the fighting and release more hostages have stalled, and the death toll in the enclave surpasses 50,000. Israeli troops pressed into the northern Gaza border town of Beit Hamon on Saturday to lay the groundwork for expanding Israel's security buffer, a several hundred-meter wide zone the military has carved out within Gaza that spans its border with Israel. The military said it is now operating in patches to expand its footprint and uproot Hamas infrastructure across Gaza from Beit Hamon and Beit Lahiya in the north to Netzarim corridor, bisecting the enclave's middle, and Rafah on the Egyptian border in the south. Fresh evacuation orders were issued Sunday for Palestinians to flee expanding operations in Rafah, as Israel said its forces had completed encircling the city's Tel al-Sultan neighborhood. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney on Sunday called a snap election for April 28th, just 9 days after taking office, citing the need to address Canada's ongoing trade tensions with the United States. Carney has described the situation as the most significant crisis of our lifetimes, as recent U.S. tariff proposals raise concerns about cross-border trade. His main challenger, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, is running on a platform of Canadian self-reliance. Other contenders include Jagmeet Singh of the left-leaning New Democratic Party. Polls currently show the Liberals leading the Conservatives 42% to 37%. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had stated that the American tariffs could demolish the Canadian economy. Columbia University will cede to President Trump's demands in negotiations over $400 million in federal funding he revoked this month, according to a memo from the school to the administration. Columbia agreed to ban masks, empower 36 campus police officers with new powers to arrest students, and appoint a senior vice provost with broad authority to oversee the Department of Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies, as well as the Center for Palestine Studies. Control of the Middle East Department has been a central dispute in negotiations and sparks controversy across campus. Faculty at Columbia and nationwide are expressing deep reservations about letting the federal government dictate how they can operate an academic department. The new vice provost, appointed by Columbia, will review curriculum, non-tenure faculty hiring, and leadership to ensure the educational offerings are comprehensive and balanced. President Trump signed an executive order Thursday aimed at dismantling the Department of Education while moving some of its core functions to other departments. The order recognizes it would take an act of Congress to officially eliminate the department, but it directs Education Secretary Linda McMahon to do all she can to achieve its end. Earlier this month, the department laid off nearly half of its staffers. The actions leave the department with 2,183 employees, down from 4,133 when Trump took office in January. Trump said he would immediately hand the management of the government's $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio to the Small Business Administration. Trump also said that he'd move special education matters and school nutrition programs to the Department of Health and Human Services. The moves are likely to face legal challenges. Separately, the administration also announced that the Small Business Administration will cut over 40% of its workforce. With tariffs looming around the president's reciprocal tariff deadline, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent expressed optimism that some of America's trading partners are already reaching out to negotiate. Going into April 2nd, some of our worst trading partners in terms of the way they treat us have already come to President Trump, offering substantial decreases in very unfair tariffs, Bessent said. I'm optimistic that April 2nd, some of the tariffs may not have to go on because a deal is pre-negotiated, he added, or that once countries receive their reciprocal tariff number, that right after that they will come to us and want to negotiate it down. Though specific levies have not been announced regarding trade countries' exports, the president clarified in a Truth Social post, if a country feels that the United States would be getting too high a tariff, all they have to do is reduce or terminate their tariff against us. There are no tariffs if you manufacture or build your product in the United States. Federal officials investigating the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland last year issued a warning this week stating that 68 bridges nationwide could be at similar risk. The National Transportation Safety Board report identified 68 bridges in 19 states with critical infrastructure issues, including the heavily trafficked Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg, and George Washington bridges in New York. The NTSB found the Francis Scott Key Bridge was almost 30 times above the acceptable risk threshold for critical bridges and suggested a vulnerability assessment might have reduced the risk of collapse. Senator Bernie Sanders got up during a pre-taped ABC This Week interview that aired Sunday and accused Jonathan Karl of asking a nonsense question about whether Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should run for Senate. Right after calling Ocasio-Cortez extraordinary, Sanders would not answer a question about whether he would like to see her in the Senate. Speculation has ramped up about AOC challenging Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer in a primary after Schumer supported a government funding bill to avoid a partial shutdown. Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people in the Congress, okay? Jonathan, thanks, Sanders said as he got up from his seat. Karl told the senator that he had one more question for him. Sanders' refusal to answer the question about AOC tends to indicate that he knows AOC cannot win a Senate primary. Finally, on a sad note, George Foreman, the two-time heavyweight champion boxer who led a colorful life in the public eye, passed away on Friday. A 1968 Olympic gold medalist, he defeated Joe Frazier for the heavyweight championship in 1973 before losing the title to Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974. Foreman retired in 1977 and became an ordained minister, but returned to the ring and won the heavyweight title in 1994 when he defeated Michael Moorer at age 45. Long after he hung up his boxing gloves, Foreman enjoyed success as the gregarious pitchman behind the George Foreman Grill, a double-sided grill that has sold more than 100 million units. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.